Welcome to this level 25 episode of Voodu Warlock 2023. Since the last episode, I did all of Keep on the Borderlands. I think I did a Gibbers run or two as well. And that's about it. For the next episode, I've already got all my 22s done that I wanted for Favor. But I just realized I have another hardcore episode, next episode, from level 26. And that's going to be doing the Caught in the Web raid and tanking Fall of Truth from Hardcore Season 6. So that's perfect. Since I didn't really have anything else too terribly interesting, I was thinking about maybe doing a solo of the Demon Queen raid. But I can always do that for the next episode after that or whenever. All right. The gear, couple new pieces of gear to share with you. I had the Heroic Ghost Waking Cloak. Now I have the Epic Elite version. This comes from Epic Crucible. Really, this is just for Ghostly. It also has DR15/evil. Just a source of Ghostly is really the primary reason. The charisma and the resistance is actually redundant, or even less than I have on other gear. And then I have the Epic Elite version of the Jeweled Cloak. This can actually come on of 2 different quests in Epic Giant Hold. You can get it in Maze of Madness from 2 chests, so that's a really good farm for this item. I highly recommend this as an endgame piece of spell absorption. It's one of the best in the game. You can get it from the end chest of Maze of Madness or the Eidolon optional chest, which is basically right next to the end fight anyway. So after you do the end fight, you just go back up the ramp, jump over the wall, kill Eidolon, take his loot. You can also get this from the end chest of Trial by Fire, which is the one in the south with all the trolls, and it's basically right next to Maze of Madness. I think I might do those as a video later in this series because this is such a great item. Highly recommend it. I recommend 3 pieces of gear, at least 3 pieces of spell absorption gear at endgame, and my personal 3 favorites are Jeweled Cloak, Pale Lavender Ioun Stone, and Mage Star. Mage Star comes out of Haunted Halls of Evening Star. If you want more spell absorption than that, that's great, but I do recommend at least 3 pieces. And those are excellent pieces, with the Pale Lavender being the best heroic spell absorption item in the game. For the Destiny, I have another point to spend. Look at that. I think I just maxed out Legendary Shield Mastery. It won't be, I think, what is it, next level that I can get this stuff? Yeah. So I think I'll just save the point for next level, or here, we'll get that for now. Probably respec next level anyways. Oh, I think there's something I specifically wanted to mention. I was talking about the importance of having Death Block on your gear set, even when you have Death Ward. I had forgotten because, these are relatively new Epic Destinies, right? That this Spark of Life gives your armor that you wear the Death Block effect. So you don't need to make sure that it's on your gear once you work up to this. So if your backup was an augment, hey, that'll free up an augment slot. I really don't like that this Spark of Life is in the chain to upgrade Knight's Challenge. So here, you can see these are connected by arrows, which means you have to upgrade to work up to throw the boom. This is what makes your Knight's Challenge, and that's, again, throwing the shield at a mob where it's an aggro resetter, and it's a ranged way to grab a mob's aggro. And once you have throw the boom, it is now AoE, so whatever mob you hit with your shield, all the mobs around it will also have their aggro reset onto you, and it has a stunning effect as well. So really, really awesome. I really do not like that Spark of Life, which has absolutely nothing to do with that ability, is somehow required as an upgrade. It's not a bad enhancement to spend a couple points in, But you know, I might not get it. It's just 25 hit points, and maybe I have death block elsewhere, and you know, maybe I don't want to spend 2 of my destiny points for what amounts to 25 hit points. So it's just kind of silly. It has nothing to do with what's above or below it, but yet it's required to upgrade your knight's challenge. In the event, it is what it is. I hope that they make some changes in these destinies. They haven't really made much since it came out, but I really do feel like they need some adjustment. In any event, that's what they are for now, right? All right, Reaper points at level 25. I was able to get this, or wait, that says no. I was able to get the Core 5 at 25. Remember, the cores are always on. Cores 2 through 6 are always on. Core 1 is only inside Reaper mode, and all this stuff up here is only inside Reaper mode, but cores 2 through 6 function outside of Reaper mode, which is really awesome. So there's another point of dodge, point of PRR, and MRR. 2 universal spell power, 150 spell points, plus 1 melee and range power. Doesn't really help this, but I got the points to max out the tree, so might as well. Nothing really new to mention on favor. I'm just going to be working up doing all the favor that I need. So my next goal is to work on Harper favor. And with Harper favor, I'm going to end up getting, I already have the Harper pin, a high, an item that I highly recommend that you get. That's from tier 1 and tier 2 favor, the lesser and the greater. Once you have the greater, you just throw away the lesser because they share a cooldown. But for Harper favor, I'll be getting, after I get to 250 with both tiers, I'll have +2 to perform. That affects my Sonic damage. Sonic is the pack damage, and +5 hit points. So I definitely want that. That's the next project, and then also 12 favor, which we're doing today, and then at the next level with memory lapse and whatever the other one is. I actually haven't done these that much. I was looking on my YouTube channel to see if I had a video of these, and the only video that I have of them is from the first look that we did, and that was from before my Twitch streaming days. I was actually live streaming on YouTube for a little while before on Twitch, and it was one of the YouTube live streams before I was on camera. It was pretty funny. It was a while ago. So for feats, let's see. Elusive target. That gives me a stacking 5% miss chance. Right here, it's a destiny feat. This is another layer of defense. By itself, 5% isn't a lot. What is it, 1 in 20? But on top of all the other layers of defense, it's just one more layer. Here's where the character sheet is right now. Okay. Which is one of the newer favor patrons in DDO. Well, I mean, been around for years, but if you're a returning player, you haven't played in 10 years. Well, Moorgrave University wasn't around back then. We just got new Moorgrave University favor with update 57, like this kind of an extension of the Peril of Planar Eyes storyline. So now there's a tier 2 where you get some hit points. It's easy to look at all those, and say, just +5 hit points, but there's a whole bunch of them, You add those up together, it adds up to something more significant. So, I'd be surprised if I've done any of these Moorgrave University quests in the 12 more than a dozen times. These are definitely not part of my regular routine. And I don't know them that well. Especially Price of Freedom, I don't know well at all. I've probably only done Price of Freedom a handful of times. This quest does have a couple of pretty nice items in it. It has a nice set of, not so much for this build, but, you know, for other builds, it has, you know, like a nice set of trapper gloves. And it also has one of the best shield clickies in the game. There's a belt. Let me see if I can look those up here. I have them up on the other monitor. So the belt is the epic sapphire studded buckles. It has 3 charges of shield that last 20 minutes each. So just a absolutely beautiful shield clicky. And then it's the epic leather gloves of the snake that have search spot, open lock, and disable device 18. So all your trapping skills there on one item. Nice. Also has Muck's Obliteration, which is a level 21 Great Club, which has your Oozebane, Crushing, Blazing, Smashing. And I bet that's made out of some funny material, so it can't be damaged. Yeah, it's made out of glass, so it can't be damaged by oozes. Or rust monsters, for that matter. This next encounter is pretty cool. I remember when we, you know, seeing this for the first time. This is the first time they ever added a gargantuan spider to the game. I always wondered, up to this point, I'd always wondered why they didn't do that. I thought that would be a really cool thing. Fighting that giant spider. This is stuff in nightmares right there. Poison pot. This is also kind of a neat quest in that you become very large. So there's a lot of large specimens of things because there's like some magic item that's turning things big. So that kind of gives us some nice flavor, and then you end up getting big once you get to that magic item. Remember, Fear Reapers you want to be close to when you're on a tank like this. You will not get affected by their fear dots when you're in melee range. They will take a swipe at you occasionally, as you just saw, but as a tank, no big whoop. This platform right here is actually where the end fight is, but we're going to be coming back to it, and we'll be big by then. Famine Reaper you can put on your spell absorption. if you're worried about the spells that they're tossing at you. Got some traps in here. Remember, we survive traps. I was looking at my build posts, and you know, I can't remember if Voodoo has ever been to level beyond 30. You know, the level cap was just raised. Well, here it is, November. It was just raised to 32 in June, July. I can't remember. I think June. So I don't even have like feats or any information for beyond 30 on my build post at this point. And so I was looking last night a little bit about, you know, what I'm going to take for my level 31 feat. Probably legendary toughness. Not really anything else that seems really relevant. I don't like my level 30 choice of great constitution. I wrote before, I used to have, you know, completionist. You can just run by all this stuff. You can actually just swim underwater too if you're worried about the traps and stuff. I used to have on my build post to take the completionist feat or great constitution if you didn't have completionist. That was when, you know, you used to have to purchase completionist, but that is now auto granted as of a few months ago or so. So I don't like the choice of great constitution. We'll probably be changing it. I'm thinking maybe one of those epic saves feats where it gives you like +2 to a save and then you don't automatically fail on a roll 1. I feel like that might be better, but I'm gonna have to look at my choices again. Once I get to 30, I'll take a look at everything that's available. I don't think that I'll be keeping it as great constitution though. It could be an option, you know, if you're at an odd constitution though. It's not a terrible choice, but it's not a very exciting choice. I don't really like the idea of spending a feat slot on 1 point of constitution when we have so much constitution coming from everywhere else. Got some Raiders of the Lost Ark boulders coming at us here. Everett's Black Tentacles and Arcane Tempest. Let's see, I think that ends this way, yep. There's a shrine back the other way if you know, if you needed it. Back that way. I think it's back that one of the two ways. So be careful here. This is where you end up turning big, and if you're like behind this stuff, like if you were with a group and somebody else triggered the thing to turn big, you actually get like trapped back there because you're like so big you can't get out. So just try to be like in the center here and you'll be just fine. So now we're like really... Oh, are you effing kidding me? I wasn't here. This is freaking ridiculous. God, I can't believe they still haven't fixed this. Well, You know, sometimes it's nice to capture this stuff on video to just show like I'm stuck, and you can't detour it in this quest. This is such BS. Look at that. It's just like there should be plenty of space for you to get through there, but you can't. It looks like there should be, but you're just totally stuck. There's an invisible wall or something. Alright, so I had to restart the quest. The shrine is straight back, by the way. I noticed in this run that there's a bunch of breakables there, so I went and grabbed those. And hopefully now I will not be stuck behind those statues. Excellent. You can just break down the doors now that you're so big. And you don't have to worry about those large boulders that were coming at you last time, because now they're just little things. I forgot about that. See, I don't do this one that often. Here's the water I swam through on the way. Now it's just, you know, ankle deep. And here's the end. Hit my spell power boosts, tainted spell casting, and the Reaper boost. Throw tentacles and arcane tempest boosted. Helps a bit. Even though I mentioned like the shield belt clicky that you get from this end chest isn't really something I use on this build. You could cast shield from a clicky and then free up a first level spell slot for something else if you wanted to. It looks like we're not getting anything today. We're just gonna move on to the next one, which is another man's treasure. Okay, so here we're looking for some crests that are going to allow us to go down the different passages. Here's one of them right here. here's another one. Little fight here. This is another one that I've probably only done, I don't know, 6, 8 times. Maybe 10. Okay. Just one of the crests coming down. So here there's like an invisible maze, and we'll see if the hireling trick still works. As soon as we get rid of all this riffraff here. So what I'm going to do is just pull out a little hireling. It shouldn't matter which one. Let's pull out Froggo. And we're going to target the lever and just tell him to hit it. And then if this works, he should just go through the maze in the fastest way possible. There he goes. Check him out. So you don't have to bother with the fuss of trying to find your way through an invisible maze. Just tell a hireling to go hit the lever and he'll get it. There is a map. If you find yourself in a position to having to do this on your own, there is a map of what it looks like on DDO Wiki. Thank you, Froggo. He's one of the absolute best, probably the best of all the permanent hirelings that you get from like the expansions with his trapping skills. The heroic version of Froggo can get traps way beyond his level. You know, he's level 3. And then the legendary version never fails traps. Hey, look, I missed a champ chest. Oh, there's the crest that I missed. when you have to do underwater swims like this, or like Crucible or something, what's really nice is you can actually use Shining Through and Staunch and stuff while you're underwater. So if you happen to take a bunch of hits from these nasty traps and you need to, hit your Shining Through, boom, no problem using it underwater. Whereas, like, for example, you can't cast a spell underwater. You can use potions underwater, though. I actually skipped this one in Heroics on Hardcore Season 6 because I was a little bit worried about this swim. I didn't want to put any of us in harm's way. Ended up doing it in Epics, though, with no problem. Pull the lever, D-Door comes up, take you back. And now we did all 3 of the objectives. And now the final hall becomes accessible. Here we're going to have to pull some levers. One on each side and one in the middle. I'm just going to run by the mobs because, again, we can kill 20 mobs in the same amount of time that it takes us to kill 1 mob. So why not just kite them all together? Don't try this on High Skull. But just doing, lower difficulty content. This is an efficient way to deal with mobs. You sit there and you fight every single group. That's going to take time. But you kite it all together, throw down your tentacles, your Arcane Tempest, and you blast, blast, blast. I mean, burst, burst, burst. Good to go. Now we got 3 objectives to do here. This one, we're just going to answer some questions. Let's see. How many floors does the Tower of 12 have? 13. Correct. Which member of the Sovereign Host is known as Patron of Wealth and Trade? I don't remember. But DDO Wiki has all the answers. Colquhoun. What is the reason behind this name? Sea of Towers. Let's see. Because it's Manifest Zone. Syriana. Correct. And that's all we got to do is answer those 3 questions here. When you're dealing with a floor tile puzzle that has red tiles, those tiles are trapped. One tactic you can use is just make sure that anything that would be feeding into the red tile is facing away from it before you even start trying to direct the light around. So here I am moving all the tiles adjacent to the red that feed into the red, turning them away so I can't possibly light them by accident now unless I turn the piece that's adjacent to them. Done. Third door, just a simple maze. You can't seem to jump over, but it's pretty basic. Let's see, there's like a lever or something. What's in the back corner? I don't remember. Hey, some rubble. There we go. And this will open the way to the end fight. I've definitely found that on heroics, this end fight, just because you're so low level, that these griffins can be kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, so you're like, you'll never get away with it. Spell power boosts, tentacles, arcane tempest. Let's just go to single, focus blast because it's higher DPS, and we'll just, put it on auto attack and, not worry about it. Hit your shining through. If I start losing some hit points, as I am, shining through, baby. I might need to re-up my displacement. Next. Now, if you happen to be doing this on a higher Skull Reaper, it's your job to tank. It's not your job to DPS. Hopefully you got other people with you that are DPSing. You just sit there and hold the mobs, the boss's aggro, and good to go. That's it. Ding 26, baby. All right. Well, that does it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, you have any questions, you can make a comment on my build post in the Warlock forums. You can comment on this video, or you can stop by the live stream, ask questions in real time, and get answers in real time. We have an awesome community. If you haven't checked out the live stream yet, I hope you will soon. And we'll see you soon.